I guess I probably will have to explain the category to you all, but we will wait till we start that run. But first, we gotta talk about these 6 characters here. There are 6 in total, you can choose any one of them. And what order you choose them in will actually does have effects. Well, little bits. But we're going to choose a pretty commonplace team for this run. And yeah, I'll kind of go into why we choose these characters. So, I will start once we actually choose the final character here and confirm the name. So the first one is going to be Reese, the second one, Kevin, and the third one is going to be Carly. So, let's get started here. 3, 2, 1, go. So, Honk percent. If you've never played this game before and you don't know what the honk is... Wait. I forgot if I said if you haven't played this game and don't know what the honk is, well, I don't know if you're in for a big surprise, but usually a lot of people who watch speedruns of this game talk about the honk. You may know about the Franker Face Z emote known as SD3Honk. You can even look it up on Google and you'll see a what looks like a turtle with a pair of goggles. We are going to find this guy, and we're going to, once we gain control of him, activate a honk. When this happens, the run is going to end. So why I chose this category in particular, even though it's not really a category, is because, well, after my set of runs, my actual set of 7 runs was over, I basically had to try and learn this game from scratch. And as you can imagine, trying to learn a 5-hour run, if you're good, but if, in the case of me, probably like a 7-hour run, it would be a little much. So, we kind of just going with, at least as far as what I've tried to learn. And it's been quite the adventure, let me tell you. There's certain tricks in this game, and they don't always work. So, I guess with that out of the way, I guess now it's time to actually talk about the importance of who you choose as the first character. As I stated already, there are 6 characters, and which one you choose first is the one that... Okay, sorry, I mixed up the order. There are 3 different storylines in this game. They're all happening at around like the same time, but each of the 3 storylines is tied to 2 out of the 6 characters each. And which one you get depends on which of the characters you choose first. We chose Reese here, so we are technically doing the Archdemon route. But, of course, we're not going to be playing the game to the full extent. I do intend to learn this game eventually, though, but there's a lot that goes into an RPG. Who'd have thought, right? So kind of how things start off here is I gotta talk to certain NPCs in order to kind of activate important scenes in order to progress through the prologue. We call this the prologue, typically. And basically, we're being filled in with sort of a backstory about, you know, Reese's mother's passing when she gave birth to her younger brother, who she is actually currently looking for. Now here's something I'm sure anybody probably would not trust. Is some random ninja just suddenly popping out of nowhere here. The moral of the lesson to be had here is don't talk to strangers. Don't start going. Don't start luring. Well, don't trust strangers, people. If they want something out of you, you don't listen to them. You just you just quietly walk away, I guess. Maybe go and seek out help. So, yeah, there's not really too much to actually talk about with the prologue right now. I already know that Reese's brother went down here, and what these two ninjas here are actually trying to do... Okay, I should probably mention, these two ninjas here are Bill and Ben. They hail from Navarre, I guess. And they want the prince here to deactivate, I guess, the defenses of the castle, the Roland Kingdom. And after a little bit of word trickery, they couldn't actually convince the prince to do it, but I think they actually blatantly threaten him, and then he's forced to do it anyway. So, unfortunately, now the defenses are down, and the kingdom's going to be attacked by Navarre soldiers, which basically resemble ninjas. And the character we're controlling is... Her first inclination is to rush to the king, who is basically her father. So, for much of the start of this run, we're actually not going to be killing anything. There's like one special enemy we will kill, but for the most part, any enemy I'm attacking is basically to stun them to keep them at bay while I try to get to the thing, to the safety. You might have noticed I actually rushed at the enemy there. That's accomplished by pressing the attack button. Oh my god, ninjas, please. And then holding the attack button. I think this activates... I guess it's AT. It's AT something. Let's just put it this way. I don't know everything about this game. And there's going to be some things that is going to happen in this run that I can't really explain because it's not always consistent. And in fact, some of those tricks are actually very vital and important in the run. So I do actually have some backup save files just in case, you know, the worst case scenario. There's also one other thing I did want to mention before the run, and that was the fact that I'd say about 30 minutes ago I had a blue screen of death, so I'm a little on edge. So if there's any reason why the stream suddenly cuts out or something, the game just completely freezes, no audio, just assume it's the blue screen of death, because that was something that recently happened. So, now that the Navarre soldiers have taken over the kingdom, they've now reactivated defenses to ensure that we cannot reclaim it back. And this, unfortunately, forces the remaining soldiers to flee. And that ends the prologue, basically. So in dire situations like this, the first thing Reese thought was to turn to the priest of light, who hails in the holy city of Wendell. And of the 6 characters, 4 of the other ones kind of are guided in that same exact direction, and that's where their journeys do align. I can't explain it because it's in Japanese. That's right. Absolutely. Of course. Of course. That makes all sorts of sense. No, honestly, if I try to explain it, you'll literally... your head would probably spin. Like, I might somewhat understand, like, what I'm trying to do, but even trying to explain how some of the... how a particular trick works, it varies from each stat manipulation. Like, they don't work the same. But we aren't even close to that point yet. For the most part, like the really, really early game, like the first half an hour, or sorry, like the first 20-25 minutes of the run is actually pretty straightforward, actually. Because, like I said, we're not really going to be attacking a whole lot of things. There is one that we will be. And most of the really early parts here coming up is mostly just hoping for good spawn luck. So this port city here, I believe, is called Jad. And this is where we're going to meet yet another enemy faction. But they are tied, they have no relation to the story of the character we're controlling here. And that is, that enemy faction is, of course, the Beastmen. You just saw them up there. They pretty much are holding the, they're holding the city kind of hostage here. And the people are kind of holding neutrality and allowing them to stay. As kind of like they're setting up home base or whatever. But that's in the daytime. In the nighttime, they are out ready to raid some villages, and they're looking for the holy city of Wendell as well. So, you know, we gotta try and beat them out. So this section here, we ideally want to see as many of these sleeping rabbits. These are rabbits. I mean, it should be obvious by their design, but they're kind of asleep right now because it's nighttime. But there is an enemy that is awake. These guys right here. These guys are terrible. You do not want many spawns of mushrooms during the early game. That's a good place, though, to have a mushroom spawn, though, if anywhere. So we're in the first town now, and gosh darn it, woman, get out of the way. I want to get in here and get some important items here. We're going to grab 6 ground candies, which are healing items. We're going to grab a weak grass, which I believe is something that removes status ailments. And that's pretty much all we need. Now we're going to talk with the old lady here and one more NPC. And talking to these 2 particular NPCs is what will allow for the next important cutscene to take place. But first, I gotta go in the inn. Even though we just had a nice little rest, you know, we're gonna take yet another nap in another inn. So the scene's gonna play out, and one of the NPCs we actually was talking about mentioned something about a blinding light. This is what he was actually... I think this was what he was actually talking about. And, well, this entire part here, we're going to be chasing down this light. Because, I mean, it caught our attention. We wanted to know what it was. You'll become familiar with what it is pretty shortly, because the chase doesn't really last very long. This is where the luck factor really begins. There's a particular screen where we can get 3 mushroom spawns instead of at least maybe 1 mushroom and 2 sleeping rabbits. So it's yeah, that's and if we get 3 mushrooms, we can just get combo chained and get stuck on that screen for a little while. We'll see what happens though. That screen I was talking about, though, is coming up right here. Right as I turn this corner here. What do we got? Alright, that's good luck. 1 mushroom is good. These 2 rabbits can be mushrooms. So as you can imagine, that's a problem. Alright. Alright, we got 2. This is a problem. I'm gonna have to fend them off. Don't. Okay, that's actually good. See, it's actually pretty important to try and at least attack them just to ward them off. You don't want to kill them, though, because, again, we want to try to mitigate how much experience we take. Okay, I can't attack him anymore. Alright, here's the enemy we want to kill, though. And this is because... of the respawn rate. If you advance forward, 1 screen... it won't respawn the enemies of the previous screen, but if you advance 2 screens forward and you go back to that screen, it will respawn them. So, killing that enemy right there, it might seem like a waste of time, but it will allow us to just rush and run right through the screen as on our return trip. So this fairy's from the Mana Holy Land, and she's pretty much out of energy. She needs a host now, out of desperation to get to the Holy City of Wendell. And we're going to help her. And you'll find out what that red flashing light was all about. Let's just say it's not good. It's really bad news, actually. Alright, so going to try and fend off that mushroom. Good. I want him getting caught on that rock. That's pretty ideal. And we're doing good on health, so we don't need that gold statue. If you talk to that gold statue, you will actually have your MP and HP regenerate. Oh, God. Get caught on that rock. Thank you. AI is super intelligent. Alright. Gotta fend this guy off. Get out of here. Alright. So, we're gonna go back, well, of course... Oh, Jesus. Shut up. Thank you. Sorry, my phone just went off on me there. Forgot to dismiss the alarm. So, yeah, the village here got raided. And, yeah, that was the Beastman that did that, so... Yeah, time's kind of running out. And, I believe the direction of the Holy City of Wendell is this way. I believe the signs even indicate that, and this is our second party member here. And his name is Kevin. And he is also a Beastman, but he's a friendly one. In fact, he's generally not known to be of the aggressive type, and this is kind of integral to his particular story. His father kind of wanted him to grow up and be a man, and become a true Beastman as per his blood calling. And, well, in order for that to happen, they turn... this little jester guy here, he turns the Carl into a beast and attacks Kevin, and, well, in a desperation to live, Kevin accidentally kills Carl, and, yeah, it's unfortunate. So he's actually wanting to come to Wendell in order to revive Carl. That's his reason for coming. So, coming up here... Okay, so the fairy here is getting rid of the barrier that's protecting Wendell. And now, this part here is a very important part where we do not want to attack anything. This is very important. Because we're coming up to our third party member here very shortly. And it's important that I don't attack anything and gain any experience, because I need to keep my second and third party members' experience within a certain distance of each other. And I believe that number is supposed to be 18 experience, but to be on the safe side, we'll be as close as we possibly can. I believe if everything goes right, that number should stray somewhere around like 3 experience apart, which is perfect. And yeah, here's our third party member right here, this small little cleric, actually. So as you can imagine, as a cleric, she is a healer, so I probably don't even really have to explain why she is needed. But she has another defined role other than being a healer. And, well, if you don't like the idea of her constantly dying, well, actually, for much of this run, you're not going to see her die too much. But in the actual run, if you actually see the run itself, she dies a lot for much of mid to end game, because unfortunately, weapons and gear in this game are really expensive. Like, I mean, horrendously expensive. More than I think any RPG I know of. And because of that restriction, only 2 characters can actually be properly geared. So she not only winds up being the healer role, she's the pincushion role, basically. We're sorry. I'm going to apologize in advance for any pain she has to endure. But for actually much of the early game, she's actually not going to fulfill that role. Oh god, freaking mushrooms. Actually, much of the role is actually going to be fulfilled by Lise here in the early game. Nice. Actually got past that mob without actually throwing out the weapons. So how I did that, I actually just mashed the run button and just kept moving. And for some reason, it doesn't cause me to actually unsheath my weapons. So this is Wendell, and that barrel I just went to get contains a cup of wishes. I need this item really badly for a particular boss fight, kind of as an emergency item. Yeah, we'll get to that point. We'll get to that fight when we get there. But now we have made it pretty much to the priest. He's just beyond this door here. And, yeah, if you're wondering why Carly decided to stay behind, Carly is tied to Wendell. That's why her fate's not really tied to Wendell. Her entire story is trying to find Heath, who's one of her caretakers. But as for these two, they're kind of just telling their story, trying to see if the priest can help them out. And, of course, he's not of much help to them, but he does have pretty important stuff to tell us with regards to why a fairy from the Man of Holy Land is here. So, I don't really totally 100% remember all of the story. So, instead, I'm going to finally take the time to explain what the roles of the two other characters are. I've already explained Carly for the most part. Now, there is one other important thing that I did miss. But we'll start with Kevin. The main thing with Kevin is he is your primary damage dealer. About 95% of the damage you're going to be dealing in the actual runs of this game is going to come from Kevin. He's a fast attacker, and at nighttime he morphs into the werewolf form, where he has much higher attack power, and this is good. This is really good. Of course, day cycles and night cycles become important when trying to properly utilize Kevin. And there's a number of abusable things that really up Kevin's ability to do a lot of damage, and we'll go into that once we reach the first boss. Now, as for Reese's main role is the utility role. At some point in this run, like right now, Reese for the most part is going to be the pincushion role, but eventually Carly and Reese are going to swap places, and the only reason, oh, I'm not sure why. There we go. Gotta turn it to nighttime. It's actually, I actually get a free, it actually costs me nothing to sleep here. So, we definitely want to do that. Anyway, what was I going with the conversation previously? Yeah, Lise for now is kind of the pincushion, but, yeah, eventually in the run, Carly and Lise do a role reversal, and that's because Lise starts with much lower level gear, and she's lower level, starting off. Also, I guess another reason, on top of the fact that we want to force Kevin into werewolf form for higher damage at nighttime, for some reason this cave is also much safer at nighttime, because we got more bat spawns. There'll be no more mushrooms actually spawning in this cave. It's just going to be those goblins with the axes and bats. And bats are good spawns because they're very, very inaccurate. Like, their attack, they don't really often land in a hit on any of your characters. Well, they'll land the odd one, but it's much better than the much higher chances that these guys normally have, these goblins here. So you're probably wondering what was up with that cutscene with the fairy. She kind of noticed something. So we're going to go right to that area she was looking at. Whoops. And then this whole thing's going to happen here. And she's going to use a little bit of magic to get across here. Kind of help us out. So I kind of want Reese to actually take a little bit of damage here during this part. Not too much. I want to be able to at least carry really to low health by the time we reach the boss room. Again, I don't want to attack anything here. Like, nothing here really gives me either enough experience or enough gold. Well, actually, I think it gives me too much experience and not enough gold. Which we will get into that. That's another really important thing when understanding the early game here, is the proper money management to experience ratio. Yeah, so the zombies are actually pretty accurate. They're a pretty problematic group. But we made it. So here's the first boss. So the very first thing we're going to do here So the first thing we'll do here is we're gonna toss a Pui Grass on Kevin. This will, I believe, put him enraged and give him an attack power buff. And now comes the luck factor with boss fights. We need him to actually attack Reese here. And so far, okay, he's attacking Carly. That's not great. All right. That's good. Alright. So this next attack will kill Reese. This is fine, though. What's going to happen here is now I'm going to heal Carly. And now I'm going to hold A and literally just mash the shoulder buttons. And watch as Kevin just completely just goes into a total flurry, like he has no cooldown between his attacks. And just like that... Wait, what? I don't know exactly what happened there. But Kevin got hit by something. That was very good luck right there. That should be fine. Very nice. No dive attack. So that was actually a pretty good fight. Not the best luck, but a pretty good fight. So I probably also forgot to mention, but the priest mentioned about how Wisp resided around near the cave here. So that's what we were pursuing. What he told us to do, because the thing is that the fairy wants us to get to the Mana Holy Land so we can grab the Mana Sword and prevent the Mana Beasts, or I think they're called God Beasts actually. I can't remember this storyline not so much. But yeah, we want to try to get to the Mana Holy Land, and the priest suggested to get the help of all the 8 guardian spirits. You obviously know what they are if you've seen Secret of Mana. They're basically the exact same spirits. Now, of course, some of them are named differently in this game. If we go by the untranslated version of the game, I believe they call the wind spirit Jinn instead of Sylphid, like they do in Secret of Mana. So now is probably a good time if you have any questions you might have, because this cutscene is actually fairly lengthy and there's really nothing much to really add, at least at this point. Oh yeah, and I guess maybe I should take this time to say, for anyone that may be new, may have just come in now, or questioning what this whole Honk % category is, yeah, if you don't know, I've never really done a run of this game yet, so I kind of had to learn from scratch, literally like few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, after my set of runs were complete. So, but we did need time to fill in. We didn't have enough time to like fill in 7 hours worth for a run, and even if we had time, I probably would not have been able to pull it off. It's a lot to take in, a longer RPG when it comes to learning. So if that's why you're confused about the category, yeah, that's kind of why I had to choose that category. I wanted to at least, though, get to the point where we do experience the SD3 Honk, as the Franker VC emote is labeled as. I should get some water, because my voice is starting to... So yeah, here's the one... So speaking of other characters we could have chosen out of the 6, here's d4gr0n. This guy, unfortunately, not so useful in the speedrun. He's a good character, though. I've actually done casual runs with this guy in the party. He's got a lot of utilities of his own, but the best type of utilities for speed in a speedrun, unfortunately, isn't quite so advantageous with his tools. So here's some more enemies. We actually came out of jail in Jad. We broke out of jail in Jad. So now we're trying to escape Jad. And I believe right now at this point the Beastmen are commencing a full-on attack on Wendell right now, as it's currently happening here right now. So we're taking this time. I think us, along with many citizens from Jad, are trying to flee. I think. I'm not so sure about all the citizens, but we're going to be taking a nice little trip here. No, we are not going to be killing any of these enemies, but we are going to be coming very close to the point where we are going to start killing enemies. And this is the point where the run starts to get really complicated. Like, I have to, like, do some hard math in my head about how much experience I'm getting. Because if I, at least for the first part of it, and the other thing I have to watch out for is I have to make sure that both Kevin and Carly do not exceed level 5. And this is very important because their level 6, their level ups at level 6 need to be stat manipulated, which I have not gotten into either. And that is the trick that is going to take much... it's probably not going to be properly explained by me. I'm pretty sure there's other runners that could probably explain it better than me. But for anyone who may have played this game, you might remember... you might remember when you gain a level up, some of your stats can basically... Some of your stats can actually be grayed out, kind of as like a mechanism of sorts, so that you can't just stack one stat. Well, turns out you can actually bypass that with some kind of trickery in the game. First, though, we do have this little scene here where this old man here decided to kind of give an update on what was happening in Wendell, and apparently the priest kind of fell ill. So, gonna do this smash thing. I didn't get a very good rush through there. So I'm gonna ignore these enemies. This guy with the whip, screw him. Oh yeah, here we go. So that's a dart he just threw. Thankfully, he threw it at Reese, which is good. I do not want it being thrown at Carly, or at Kevin, for that matter. So now, here's the point where we do want to start fighting. And our numbers, okay, so that's 10 experience. And now Reese gets her first level up. We're going to throw it into stamina. I guess I haven't really explained the stats, have I? Oops. So, let's see here. 13. First, I gotta focus on the hard math here. 15, 19. That should be good. Okay. So, we're gonna leave it as is. And we're just gonna skip all these mobs. I think 19 is the magic number of experience I want to get here before moving on. So, yeah. Strength is should be self-explanatory. It's more damage with your attacks. Dex is a very buggy stat. It's supposed to increase evasion, but it doesn't do that. It does not do what it's supposed to do. But it does increase damage, I think, with thrown weapons. Not entirely sure. But as for stamina, it decreases damage taken. So it's also a pretty handy stat. Also, this boss fight really sucks. Remember that fight I said that I need the Angel Grail for? Well, here's that fight. This fight is awful. Like, it really is. And hopefully I don't have another rocket launcher thrown at me. Hopefully, if it does happen, that it happens only on the last one. I am kind of a little bit scared what these guys are gonna do. Oh god. Yeah, so you are kind of treading a fine line sometimes with the health. Okay, nice. So it's just one more. So it looks like we are not going. Looks like we're not going to lose our party members here, unless he does a nice little rocket launcher. Yeah, good. So it's actually very important that I keep Carly and Kevin alive in that fight, just because I want to make sure their experience is within grasp of each other. And if Carly dies early on, like before the first machine golem dies, then there's going to be quite a disparity, and I would have been forced to reset. just small things like that. So here is Carly's level up. We're going to throw it into Spirit. Spirit actually helps her increase her healing effectiveness. It also increases damage with light magic. And that's also pretty important. Which is also something Intelligence does as well. So I'm actually going to leave the screen here. I'm actually going to ignore all the enemies here. Not sure how Kevin didn't get a level there, but I'm sure he'll get a level up right here. So this is the screen I want to actually kill enemies here. Oh, the dart, dude. Of course, of course. Alright, so there's Kevin's level up. We're going to throw it into Strength. Strength is absolutely necessary for Kevin. Like, that's the primary stat you want to stat manipulate with Kevin, and it's pretty vital that he gets that. Come on, attack. Okay, hopefully I'm going to leave the screen here. I don't know if Reese is going to get a level up here. Okay, she did. So, I believe I want to throw this into Agility. And, yeah, I said that Agility is kind of buggy, but there is one particular fight where we need that Agility. And it's pretty important. Also, if you want to know why we're coming here back to the village and trying to utilize this cannon, the bridges... We're trying to go to the Kingdom of Forsena, and the bridge is now totaled. It's done. It's shot. So we need another way to get there, and that cannon is the way there. But the guy who made this cannon's kind of dumb. He didn't realize he needed gunpowder, so that's a little bit of an oversight by him. All right, let's see how we do here. Ah, almost. So, trying to see what other stats did I not cover. Luck? Yeah, I don't know what luck does. Good luck trying to have me explain what luck does. So at this point, I'm going to attack pretty much everything I see at this point. Nice. Yeah, so I want to make sure I kill what I can here. I want at least enough experience. I want to try to... Oh my goodness, this Porok, dude. But yeah, I want to try to get as much experience as I can throughout this. I want to try to fend off that zombie so that he doesn't follow me. That should be a good amount of experience. So yeah, that old man there actually said something about this area here. And you have to talk to him, otherwise this scene won't play out. It's kind of stupid like that. So, now that I've covered the stats, I guess I should now talk about what stats we want for each of these. Obviously, I mean, Carly makes sense. It's steel, it's spirit, and intelligence. And in the case of Kevin, it's stamina and strength. Now, Reese is a little more complicated because of that one fight I mentioned where we do want to actually have some agility for her. And, why we want that agility, what fight we're talking about there isn't for a while. We got at least quite a few fights before that point, but it's very key. Because if it does not, if that fight goes even remotely wrong, that is the fight that's going to force me to consider utilizing my, other save file. So I'm going to actually just stock up on everything here. We do have our... Yeah, good. So we actually need to talk to this guy, because that's what helps... that's what spawns the next part of this area here. Or this spawns another NPC that's going to help pave the way. So, but before that, we got a little bit of things here. I don't exactly know what this is supposed to do, but I do know that a Japanese runner does a couple of switcheroos with some options at that point, and chooses those options. I think it has something to do with how the AI behaves in certain situations, or how the AI behaves when you're not in control of them. So we need to find Watt, who has the gunpowder that we need for the cannonball. So I'm actually going to get some of these guys, get my party members to attack these enemies. And yeah, there was Watt up there. We're gonna go and talk to him. He's gonna sell gunpowder for way more than we actually have at this point. But that's fine. Oh, that's kind of bad luck, but that's okay. You want him moving towards you so that he's not spending as long of a time actually leaving the room. But yeah, as I have been doing the last few times, I have been primarily using Carly as the lead-off here, because again, her gear is better at this point than Lise, and, well, when I say gear is expensive, I mean it's really expensive, and there is a point in this run where money becomes so tight, and that is an understatement when I say that. It becomes so tight, we're scrounging, like, at table scraps for money at one point in this run. And it actually is quite a comprehensive part of the run. and why killing certain mobs becomes extremely important in the actual run. We're getting pretty good luck here on mob encounters, but I probably will need to heal Kevin at the very least. Push comes to shove, what I can also do is that. I mistimed it, but if you actually activate the menu as you're about to be attacked, the enemy will actually guarantee miss you. Like that, like so. Like normally that would actually have hit me, but especially since hedgehogs are actually very accurate. I don't know what Carly's pushing there, but you know, whatever. Yeah, so now we're reaching really dangerous territory here. These are level 6 enemies, and they do a lot of damage, so... Okay, so we're back to level 5s here. Oh, that was a bad hit. Alright. Now I want to... Yeah, just gotta make sure that, that Carly's not going to get hit. We're going to be fine, though. That's good. And we're about to encounter our next boss fight, which is Jewel Eater. So I'm actually going to gain control of Reese here. And once she twirls her lance, I'm going to press the attack button so that I can get Kevin to start morphing into werewolf form. Oops, come on. And then, while that's going on, I'm going to get Carly to heal. And now is the point where I want to gain control of Kevin here. Alright, so now Reese is down, and we're going to heal Carly. And we're going to gain control of her and do exactly what we did the last time by simply having control of Carly, holding the A button down, just spamming the shoulder button to just cause Kevin to go into a full-on frenzy. This boss is a little bit annoying, though. As you can see here, he likes to block a lot, and he's got some pretty nasty attacks. Sometimes he'll do, like, a set sort of spell. Alright, this is a full party hit. Okay, come on. Come on, Kevin, what are you doing? Okay, let's do this. There we go. Yeah. So it's very likely we're going to get the earthquake here, which is unfortunate. Gonna heal Kevin here. Ooh, wow. Okay. Okay, now we want to start getting that frenzy going again. Yeah, you can see how fast Kevin can attack by doing this particular trick. Of course, Kevin's not getting far enough in there. There we go. That'll do. Come on, Kevin. Get in there. There we go. There we go. Alright, so there's, that Protect Up is Jewel Eater's desperation move when he's very low on health. The previous fight that you saw with the big spider guy, the spider-looking guy. Oh, God. Okay. So yeah, that's the earthquake there. That's fine. I'm going... Actually, that's fine. I can actually... Okay. Wow, he was just a couple hits from death. So that's actually not bad. So I mentioned how, during the Machine Golem fight, where as long as there's only one enemy remaining, only one of the Machine Golems remaining, everyone gets the experience from that particular Machine Golem. Well, in the case of boss fights where there's only one target, everyone gets the same amount of experience. So that death to Carly actually is not going to cost her. So that's a good bit of news. So yeah, Watt was trying to look for Gnome here, And this is our second Mana Spirit that we're going to get the help of. And as thanks for kind of helping out, we're going to be given the gunpowder and then be given a way out. And hopefully I got a good level up from Reese here. We did not get a level up. That's a bit of a problem. So, now I want to attack pretty much everything. I want to also be pretty quick. I'm going to leave the screen here. Hopefully get a decent level up. No. Still not going to get anything, huh? Alright. We want Reese to at least level up before we get to the end here. If it doesn't happen, though, it doesn't happen. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So we're going to, once again, put a point into agility here. So that's good. We actually got a stat manipulation on the 4th level for Reese, which is great. Now, pretty much everything we encounter on this little trip here, all the way till we reach town, which is the next screen, we want to kill everything. And they're not attacking anything, which is unfortunate, but, you know, whatever. We'll get a count of how much experience we still need on our return trip. But first, we got to get to the Kingdom of Forsena. We need the help of the king, who is, I believe his name is King Richard. I forgot. This time I'm supposed to talk to him. The first time around, you don't have to talk to him, but this time you actually have to. And we have to remind him that, we had to remind him why he needed the gunpowder. What a genius engineer right here. Or an inventor. Also, watch this shot. He's supposed to shoot us into the kingdom, but he is going to miss the mark so hard. There's the kingdom way up north there. We're going way over here. I think the guy may need a bit of a degree in physics, or needs a little lesson in physics, I think. Right, so right now it's still nighttime, and this is perfect because we get more bat spawns here. And like I said before, bats are very hard-pressed to actually hit with anything they can do. So, the faster we get through this section here, the better, because daytime is when this section gets pretty dangerous. There are a lot more hedgehogs you can face, and they hit really hard, and they're very accurate. So, also yes, d4gr0n, it was actually alright. We did leave him behind in Jad. He missed the boat, but, you know, he's fine. He's all good. He actually serves the king of Forsena, so that's where he's going right now. Oof. That's actually a pretty bad pack. It's still nighttime, so we should be able to get through this part without needing any healing items. And this is also pretty important in the actual speedrun, is kind of conserving your items. Oh god, no, I don't want to attack. I want to not kill anything in this stretch. Because again, experience is pretty valuable at this point. Come on, leave me alone. Thankfully, though, this is a pretty short stretch. Most stretches to bosses are actually pretty short. There are a few that take a while, take a lot of different areas to go through before the next fight, but... And in fact, I believe that stretch is, coming up after this area. So this is a good point to be at now. We pretty much... This area here, is a really, really short area. So these mages, this is the other storyline. We've seen the Navarre ninjas, we've seen the beastmen. Those are tied to two different storylines. Now we have the mages of Altina, I think. I think that's the name of the area. Again, I don't know. And here's the Crimson Wizard. We're not going to get to know him very well. unfortunately. So the first thing we want to do, and this is also why we don't want to actually grab any, this is also why we don't want to use any healing items, because there's a gold statue right here. So, plays to our benefit. And now begins a bit of luck. These wizards can be very mean, and they can cast a spell at the start, as this one's about to do to me. And unfortunately, anytime you have a chance of encountering that type of enemy, he has a chance of starting a cast. He has a chance of casting a spell to start things off. Yep, this one's gonna do the same thing. You can tell by how he moves when he's gonna do it. But that's fine, because past this doorway, we're pretty much in the safe zone. As we just have to go through here, and we're at King Richard. Also missed a split. I just realized that just now. So yeah, I kind of forget what this conversation is about. So first we're going to get these guys here to go up there, and then we use the shoulder button to take control of one of our partners, and then take a slash at Corrin. It saves a little bit of time to do that. And now we're going to seek out the help of the king. And the first thing he's going to tell us to do is go to... go and find Sylphid, or Jin. However way you want to pronounce his name. He's the wind. He's the wind spirit. A wind mana spirit, or guardian. God, you can tell I know my lore very well with this game. Jeez. Yeah, so once again we have yet another another part here where we have to find the special NPC to progress to the next part of the game. This one's pretty simple though. Well, it's a bit of a detour, but it's literally the furthest house on the left here. So she's going to tell us that some cannon's being set up and yada yada yada. Actually going to take this time now, actually, to swap the gunpowder into the backup inventory. And this doesn't actually affect your ability to actually travel with the cannons. It still counts. Don't ask me why, it doesn't make much sense to me, but that's how it works. So this guy, much unlike his brother, has a much better shot. So we're going straight back to this town here, which I don't know, I think this may be like the 4th time we've backtracked now to visit this town. So King Richard wants us to take a ship from a certain town, which is connected via the road that is connected here. And that ship will take us to a town called, I believe, Palo. And that town is at the very foot of where the d4gr0n Kingdom is, the mountaintops. Alright, so now is the point where we are going to try to kill what we can here. In fact, there's one thing I did forget. Oh, let's kill this rabbit first. So, this is the point where I do want to take a look at our experience value. 70, 69. Okay. So, yeah, we can afford to kill a few things here. And we don't need to actually turn anything to nighttime here. It's actually not too important. Ah, you jerk. Okay. Alright, whoa, 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 whoa. No, Kevin, no! I don't want too much experience, I don't want too much experience, getting, sapped away here. I should have healed Carly, that was my bad. Alright. Let's check the experience gap here. 54, 60. Okay, 6 should still be okay. I mean, if it's not okay, then thankfully we do have a backup save just in case. But yeah, this is where we don't want to have any costly deaths to Carly or Kevin. All right, come on, get out of here. All right, so we're gonna kind of calm down on the killing of mobs. Get out of here, Porok. Gonna actually just prioritize killing. Well, we'll kill at least some of these mobs here. I want to try to kill Rabbids because they are worth very little experience, but a lot of gold actually. And this will especially come into play during a particular part. All right, good mobs. Come on, Kevin. Come on, Kevin. What are you doing, dude? I don't know what he's doing, but he's kind of doing his own thing. Right. So now we've reached the town that the king was telling us to go to and catch a ship at. But first we're going to go into this inn here. And we're going to turn it to nighttime. And we got a really good amount of gold here. This town is also the most important town of all. I'm also going to save the game here just in case something happens. So, at this point, there's not really going to be any more resting in actual inns. For the most part, most of our savings going to be lying on the statues. So this boat trip here is worth 150 gold, and it will take us straight to Palo. And here in Palo is actually going to be a weapon upgrade for Kevin, which we're going to grab literally right away because we need Kevin to be at a certain... We need him to do good damage. And we don't get an upgrade for a weapon for at least about, I'd say, another half hour into this run, so we need every bit of help we can get as far as his damage output. So because this is the area near the Roland Kingdom, which we saw overtaken by the Navarre soldiers, this does include this area here. It's now occupied by Navarre soldiers. And here's our weapon upgrade for Kevin, and that's all we're going to grab. We don't need to grab the armor. We got bigger upgradable armor kind of waiting for us at some point. Before we move on here... Oops, wrong way. There we go. Alright, so this area... This is a very scary area. Right now we're level 5. Our highest characters are level 5. These are level 8 enemies. They do at least 30 damage, and we do not have much health to work with here. So there's going to be a bit of abusing the menuing here, just to ensure we can safely get through this without taking an accidental death. Because we don't want the party to wipe, otherwise it is game over and we do get sent back to the title screen if that happens. Alright, so we're past the worst of it now. We have just one more set of mobs. Right over here. I don't know what that zombie was doing. Okay. Perfect. You can see how the use of the menuing there really kind of plays to our advantage. So there are different multiple routes you can take. One of them leads up to the Roland Kingdom, but this direction actually leads us somewhere else. And that place we're going to become familiar with in a moment, as we are put to sleep by by some of these flowers, actually. And those flowers are gonna play kind of a key integral role in the... well, I'll kind of explain it once this whole thing here plays out. We're going to have a conversation with a bunch of people. That yes, we're in a hideout now. This is where the survivors of the Rohan Kingdom are staying at now, and they are looking to strategize a way to retake the kingdom. And the point of this conversation is to try and seek out a certain strategist. And that strategist, well, he's I believe what they call a chibiko, or if you want to use more common terms, a gnome. But I believe chibiko is the proper term that they describe them as. But in order for us to actually approach a chibiko, we need to be a chibiko ourselves. So we need a certain item that actually changes us into one. Also, here is someone else related to the canon people, and she is the best of them all. Watch this shot here. Watch how far we go with this one. Right on target. I tell you, you shoot from halfway across the world and you land perfectly. That speaks a lot of your marksman skills. So yeah, this is shop right here is the black market. This is the reason this town is the most important in the game. We're about to do a number of shopping of really key goods. Now, thankfully, I don't have to buy too much here since we aren't going to be covering everything in the game. Just making sure I got everything I need. Got one of that, at least 5 of those. That should at least cover the portion I need to. Normally, you want 9 of those power seeds. And interestingly enough, the power seeds don't work quite like they are it's intended for. Since healing items actually kind of work as an enrage on Kevin, he can actually gain that same sort of attack power status from just simply being healed and then subsequently actually taking damage from a certain fight. We are going to grab 9 of these light coins. Normally you only grab... Oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. So that should be enough to cover that. And we're going to grab 9 of these as well, just for safety. And there's a reason I want to grab all of that. And that is also pertaining to the fight where we need agility from Reese. If things go wrong with that particular fight, and we can't kill that, we can't kill the boss of that fight with just the pumpkin bombs, well, the axes are there as backup, just in case. Just in case. So now we're taking a ship ride, and it's going to take us to Jad. Jad is where we need to go to find this strategist that's a Chibiko. And this is also where money... This is the point in the game where money is very, very tight. You notice I actually grabbed a lot less than a normal 80% run of this game would take. That is how tight. The money was still pretty tight from what I grabbed in this particular run. You grab even more in an actual run, in an actual full run. That is how, and that is the point where money becomes very tight, because we got to take a ship ride back to Palo from Jad. So, yeah. This is where we start prioritizing killing rat beets, because they give very little experience, but a lot of money. Now, rat beets still hit pretty hard here, so we do have to be careful. Come on, Kevin. There we go. Now, what kind of mobs are we going to get here? Ooh. Actually, hang on a second. I need to check my experience up to this point. I have to make sure everything... Okay, good. 26 and 32. So I can afford to kill at least one of the mushrooms here. Now put Kevin at 20. Killing this guy. Oh, no, 18. And then 16. Okay. So now we're going to be a little more conservative with attacking anything. This is why I'm going to control Kevin here, because if I accidentally need to fend off an enemy, then I don't end up accidentally killing something I don't want to end up killing. We're going to actually ignore those rat beets. The pink rat beets are worth 12 experience, so you can imagine we are not attacking that. Because again, we need gold more than we do experience right now. We're actually at the point where we're approaching the levels for Kevin and Carly to be stat manipulated. Okay, so right there you actually saw a Chibico. That's one of the Chibicos you just saw. So we're gonna actually talk to this statue here, and we're going to go into the Chibico village. So I guess this part's kind of boring. We're kind of just gonna talk around. We're gonna talk to some NPCs, and then yeah. After that, there's gonna be a bit of lore dropped, and so I guess now I'm gonna once again take my time to explain why the category is Honk % again, because I'm assuming there is going to be some new people that probably joined the chat. But the reason why this is, what is Honk %? It's the point where you can actually officially control Booskaboo, and there is a button you can press that does a certain honk. When we activate this honk, that is the end of the run. And unfortunately, and I'm sure you're probably asking yourselves, why not do the whole run? Well, this is actually the first time I'm doing a run of this game, and I've pretty much had to learn as much of the game as I could. I only just started learning this game like 2-3 days ago, like literally right after all my sets of runs that happened during this marathon. So I couldn't really learn the whole game, because the point where I'm going to stop this run becomes so unbelievably risky. Like, some of the boss fights are just insane. Like, after the point where I'm gonna stop this run, you have like a fight with 3 machine golems that can basically all chain kill you with multi-hitting magic. And then you have a fight with Bill and Ben. That's a fun fight. And then it will end up being followed by the worst of them all, the fight with Lugar. And that fight is a doozy. Let me tell you this much. Lugar has a move that hits the entire screen, and it can one-hit kill the entire party. And it is guaranteed to hit. So unless you actually win the frame rule on opening the menu, you are likely going to die to that full screen tech. It's almost a completely unfair fight unless you win out on his pattern and he chooses Moon Saber instead. Which, for whatever reason, it takes a long time to cast. Alright, perfect. So we got some level 9 red beets. This is perfect. Going to double check my experience here. It's very important that I don't go we don't tread too close to a level up here. So 1 experience. So that means Kevin's down to 11, now 10. Don't attack him. Alright. No, no. Leave, leave, leave. Okay, good. Thankfully, Carly and Reese can't really kill anything. They don't have the weapons to utilize, and that's why you control, Kevin during that part. You don't want an accidental kill and gain a whole bunch of experience. Alright, so now we're going back to Palo. We have just enough money to get there. And that is why I mean about how tight the money situation is. We don't want to level up Kevin and Carly, but we needed enough money to get back to Palo. And so, I mean, if you thought the run was crazy enough having to worry about money and about not enough money or too much experience, now it's gonna get real crazy, because now is when the key stat manipulation is going to happen. We want to manipulate a strength stat for Kevin. This is very important. If I fail this, I am going to reset and try again, because it becomes very hard doing this stretch when your strength is not at its maximum most capacity at this point in the game. So what I'm gonna do first, though, is save, because that's obviously what I'm going to have to do, since this is also a part where randomness can really screw me. I need a pack of zombies or like small little demons, because they typically lag the game a little bit. So that's going to be coming up here. And here we go. So I want to gain control of Carly here. I mentioned how Spirit and Intelligence actually can increase light magic damage. Well, this is why this is where it comes into play. Remember those light coins we grabbed? Well, they actually increase damage. If it's thrown by someone with high spirit. This is very bad luck, by the way. I need a pack of zombies. I need a zombie pack. Come on, leave me alone. Oh man, that's a bad hit. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, actually, before I do that, I'm gonna heal Kevin. And I'm going to heal myself. Carly, I mean. And hopefully we get this. I don't expect anything to happen. Gotta wait for them to die. Now I gotta do this again, but this time I want to spam it on these enemies here. And we gotta do this twice for this pack, and this is why we want to start with a zombie pack. And we're trying to generate enough lag, I think. I think that's how this stat manip works. Hopefully we get it. Let's see if we got it. Alright. That's a good sign. Going to go up here and... Please tell me I got it. Oh, Reese got a level up. Nice. Alright. So... Reese got a stat manip. So we're going to put her agility to 8. And nice. We got the stat manip on Kevin. So yeah. Normally that level up by Kevin will gray out the strength stat. That's why you need to do all that. Because, yeah, it allows you to put a point into strength. So, all of that was probably a little bit complicated. But I think that's how it works. And now from this point onward, it's a little less complicated. Quote-unquote, a little less complicated. It's still... There's still some craziness we have to deal with once we get to the Rollout Kingdom itself. Going to take control of Kevin here, and I'm actually going to... Actually... No. I'm actually going to just take control of Carly. I don't really have to worry about Kevin's health here, because I will heal him when we reach the boss. This section can have some pretty nasty enemies. There's an armored knight, who's probably the most powerful enemy you can deal with. Thankfully, most of them are pretty dodgeable. This one here, we want to actually have the gust push him kind of down so he's not in our pathway. But yeah, he's pretty slow and pretty easy to dodge since he moves so slow. Now I'm going to try to use some trickery and try to separate my team members here. Going to activate this one, and now I'm going to control Kevin down here. This is meant to help optimize things a little bit. And yeah, that was actually pretty cleanly executed. So we're at the end of this stretch here, and we're about to approach the Wind Mana Stone. So I guess I never really specified what the strategist actually told me, but what he wants me to do is get Jin or Sylphid and use his power to utilize the sleeping flowers that put us to sleep. Because as it turns out, the sleeping flowers only work once on someone. And they haven't been afflicted on the Navarre soldiers yet, so we're actually going to put them to sleep with these flowers. But in order to spread that sleeping flower, we need the power of Jin Sylphid here. Alright, so now on to our next fight here. We're going to start by healing Kevin. And then we're going to imbue him with Earth. Then this is why, right here, why that one black market is very, very important. Okay, so that's kind of an unfortunate start. What am I gonna do here? Yeah, I'm gonna just heal with the regular spell. So Senker is a little bit of a troll. She can sometimes just hang out in the top of the screen where you can't really touch her at all. So far, she seems to be hanging out. Wow. She really does not like Kevin, though, right now. I want her to attack Lee's so that we can actually get some good frenzy going on here. Alright, so she used Speed Up. This means that she's now in Desperation mode. And, yeah. So that was actually a very, very generous fight. We actually got a pretty good pattern out of that. Okay. So now I want to put a point into stamina for Reese. We don't need any higher than 8 agility, I think, for this for the particular boss fight I've been hyping up this entire time. It's gonna look like a boring fight if everything goes as planned. I'm just gonna give that heads up right now. But it's very important that I do the fight that way. Alright. So then, if we finally are going to use our rope here, and this allows us to transport back here, takes a huge chunk of backtracking, so saves a big amount of time. Alright. So, oh, come on. Kevin, just move. So now we just got to head back to that flower field, since that is precisely what the strategist told me to use Sylphid for. So we're going to do just that. And again, we're not going to attack anything. We don't really need to. At least I don't think we do. Pretty sure we don't. I'm actually going to check my experience here. Alright, 48, 54. Okay, so I need to kill... how much is that? If 18... Oof. Okay, I'm going to actually take the safe route here, actually. Okay, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Actually going to revive Carly here. Want to make sure that stays alive here. Come on. Alright, perfect. I wanted to make sure I had at least enough experience here. Actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, I have to be careful how I do this. Okay, okay, that should be fine. That should be fine. Okay. Alright. We'll take an emergency save just in case this next stat manip doesn't work, because it's a little finicky. It is a little bit finicky. I wasn't liking how much experience I had remaining, so... Alright, so here's the Sleeping Flower field. And we're going to call upon our newly acquired Mana Spirit, as he's going to blow these sleeping flowers to the d4gr0n Kingdom and put the ninjas to sleep. And once they go to sleep, that's when the Operation Retake d4gr0n Kingdom begins. So, if you've ever seen like a really good run of this game, you might have noticed that they are scarce about buying actual round drops. And that's because of this part right here. So, let me just... I'm going to actually heal everyone to full here. Except for Elise. We don't have to worry about her. Actually, we're good. So, that barrel there I just grabbed contains 3... one of them contains 3 Cup of Wishes. And the other one contains a full stack of round candies. Okay, whoops, that was actually the wrong button, but I'll double check everything. Good, good. Alright, so, first before I go in that doorway and kill the one ninja that I need to, we're going to save right here. I want to make sure that this is done properly. So the first thing we're going to do when we enter here, we're going to kill this one stray ninja here. And sometimes Kevin can be a little stupid during this part, where sometimes he likes to target the corpse over there. I don't really know why sometimes he does that. Okay. Oh no. No, 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 no. Don't attack, don't attack. Okay. Yeesh. I was a little scared there for a second. Yeah, if they actually killed that mob, I think Kevin would have gotten a level, and that would have screwed up the stat manip. So, it's very important I do this exactly as intended. And any unintended results is likely going to spell trouble. So this section here, for the most part, is pretty simple. Now that we're past that particular room, we're gonna just skip these mobs because, again, we're waiting for we're trying to get to a certain room where we're going to utilize the same method we did for the other stat manip, where we are going to throw out 2 light coins, and it's going to be on a pack of 3 ninjas. And hopefully this works. I'm not 100% sure it will, though. If it doesn't work, though, I'll probably end up killing 2 ninjas. Oh, that's a problem. Yeah, this is not gonna work. We'll have to reset this one. Oh, it might. Actually, it might. Might have actually gotten it somehow. We still got it. Alright. I am not gonna question it. Okay. Normally when Normally when one of the ninjas dies earlier, or dies in a single... Litecoin use, it causes some problems. Okay, so now that we actually got the stat manip, we're going to actually save again, because we don't have to do it again, just so we don't have to do it again. Because coming up now is the boss. Like, after we go through this particular room, it's going to be one little stretch, and then it's going to be the boss room. And there's a reason I grabbed more light coins than a typical run normally grabs. And that's because this guy has ads. And it tends to lag this fight a lot. It's terrible. So, first things first, I'm going to reach Kevin here by healing him. And then I'm going to imbue him with ice. Okay, now the ads have appeared, so I want to try and kill them off completely. And we're going to use up all our light coins in order to do this. This is kind of slower, but it's much safer, and it cuts down the lag significantly. Basically trivializes this fight, instead of turning it into an absolute nightmare of a fight. Alright, so there's our last use of it. And then once it's used up... Uh-oh. Come on. So, unfortunately, one of the shapeshifters decided to use a bad attack. Okay. Oh god, oh god. Oh, this is bad. Okay, I might be able to save this. I might be able to save Kevin here. Hopefully. If it doesn't, he's dead. Yeah. Okay. This is a bad situation. So now, in this situation, I'm going to have to revive Kevin. And, oh my god, dude. Please stop. Yeah. Yeah, this did not go as planned. Yeah, we'll try and heal Carly here. She might die. Okay, we got rid of the ad. That's good. Okay. But unfortunately, we did have Carly die, but that's fine. We can revive her. Oh, but we got more ads. Okay. This situation is getting a little hairy now, so going to have to imbue Kevin with strength here. Oh, wow, a knight. Okay, there we go. That's actually good. That's actually pretty good. Yeah. That was close. So I said it would trivialize the fight, but then, of course, one of the ads decided to shift to something that would absorb Holy, and actually saved himself from doing that. So... just kind of one of those things that the game can do to you. Alright. So, this is perfect. We should be able to finish the job. I want to control Reese here. Here's the fight that I was talking about quite a while ago. This is why we need the agility stat. And we need to also have high stamina for this as well. So, I need to throw all these pumpkin bombs at this guy. How this fight works is Bell and Ben are going to fuse into one ninja, and they have a set amount of health. If you do more than the total amount of health that their single form has, they will die on the spot. They will not even split. So normally they do split if you play this fight casually, but this fight casually is awful. Like, you have no idea in a speed run. This fight, playing it the normal way, just is not possible. Like, they have too much damage output. He has a nasty single target tech. And once they split off, they can do all of that and multi-target. And their health regenerates. Real fair fight. So that's why we need to do that strat. That's why we needed agility, because we needed to up the damage of thrown items. And with that, we've now retaken Roland Kingdom. That chick there actually is one of the main villains tied to this storyline. And unfortunately, though, that is going to be the last we'll see of her in this run. Which, by the way, yeah, I guess now, once again, I have to explain. This is only Honk %. And we're getting pretty close to the end. Because we only have, I think, 2 more areas to explore. And, well, these areas are not really too bad. I mean, the last one can be a little scary, but it could be a lot worse. So, now we gotta head back to Palo, and, but we have a little bit of spare time to actually kill some of these mobs. And we're gonna take this opportunity to get Reese caught up on levels here, because we do want to actually... We want to wait till daybreak before we reach Palo. And this is pretty important because of a certain part that... a certain thing that's going to happen. Come on, Kevin. Do your thing. Stop looking at the birds. Okay, there we go. So we got Reese her level up. Going to throw that to stamina, which is good. Because that allows her to soak up more damage. Also, this is the point where Reese and Carly are going to swap places. Up to this point, Reese has been the pincushion. Well, the roles are about to be reversed once we get to Palo. Because we are finally going to upgrade our armor. Yes, we're finally going to actually not be squishy and not be stuck with our most basic armor. So I'm actually going to start moving towards Palo here. Alright. And I want to make sure I don't get too much experience here, so... We're just going to at least do enough to ward them off. Or Kevin just decides not to attack. You know, that's totally fine, too. It's still nighttime. Wow. Okay. This is a little sketchy, so we're just going to do that. Oh, boy. Come on, Kevin. You can do it. I want to make sure Reese is not going to die. There we go. There we go. That should be fine. So, at this point now, we don't want to do any more attacking. So, let's see if we can get these mobs stuck. Okay, well, this guy decided not to be stuck. Okay, now it's starting to turn into daybreak. This is good. So I'm gonna wait for daybreak to hit. Oh, nice. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll just have this. Again, like I said, we have to wait till daybreak. And we'll know it's daybreak when Kevin actually unmorphs out of his werewolf form. And again, this is important because... And the reason why is because we want to go into the next boss fight with werewolf form intact. But a certain event is going to play out for a while, and we need it to turn nighttime for that event. So that's why we're kind of stalling for time here. Okay, so now it's daytime. Now I should be okay to actually go to Palo. Yeah, it's one of those stupid points in the run where if you go too fast, you have to wait for a little bit. Alright, so I actually probably haven't even specified about this guy here. He's also one of the playable characters that you can choose from. This is Hawkeye, and he is probably the second best damage dealer in the game after Kevin. And he is often probably considered the character that a lot of people might think Wow, you don't take this guy over Reese? What is wrong with you? He's got good damage, right? Well, yes, but sadly, his utility is not on par. I think if you were to look up if you were to, say, Google search Seiken Densetsu 3 stat manipulation, I think you'll be brought... I think the first result you'll get is, like, something tied to SDA. Like, it's a knowledge base of sorts. And it discusses why certain characters are chosen over others. And I believe the reason specified for why Reese over Hawkeye is explained pretty well, if I remember correctly. So, yes, there is new gear now here in Palo, and we're going to get that for ourselves. Finally going to have something better than what we've been using up to this point. And we're going to equip that right about now. Whoops. Wrong direction. Oops. Yes. Oh, okay. I forgot a little something important. So my money situation actually wasn't as bad as I thought. I forgot to actually sell some gear for some extra money. Well, point still stands. It's still pretty sketchy on the money side of things. Right. And yes. So now we want to actually... Well, actually, first before that, I need to... Alright. That we want to put away, because we don't need that. And we want to take this out. Those are my Poto Oils, and they are a multi-target heal item. So, very useful. So we're going to fully stock up on our round candies and some chocolate. And we should have enough healing items to finish off the game. We'll grab a couple of these just to make sure we have no accidents. Now, I do hope that, oh, come on, come on, there we go. Yes. Want to heal, Reese. We're gonna actually save at the end just to make sure that it will turn nighttime, when we activate the next part of the game here. Just to make sure. We've had a good run here, so hopefully it stays that way. And I am being a little bit conservative here, but I should still make it under estimate if everything goes correctly from here. Maybe just barely. Right, so we're going to take a nice little ride on this ship. Everything is going to seem as normal, except the fact that he offered this ride for free. So if that wasn't a clue off, whoa. Something was going on my screen there for a second. Yeah, some things are going to happen here, and you see where our destination's going to be, and this ship is not going to take us there. It's going to kind of go veer off in some other direction. And yeah, it's a little bit of waiting here, and I'm hoping that it will shift to night before this scene cuts to black. But if not, I will just reset and delay some of the daytime. Oh, okay, we might have it. We might have it. It looks like it's getting close to nighttime. Okay, I think we got it. We'll find out when we actually get into an encounter fight. So yeah, like I said, we're pretty much Reese and Carly are now in role reversal now, so much of from this point onward in an actual run would have us having Reese take lead here because she can take the most damage and she's got a decently high health pool. So yeah. So if you haven't clued in yet what's going on here, we're in a ghost ship. And we need to find a way out. The fairy has actually mentioned that she feels the presence of another spirit here. It's very faint, but it's here. So we're going to investigate what's going on here. Oh, okay. Nice. Nice. So Kevin is, in fact, in werewolf form, so that's good. That's good. That's what I was hoping for. And yeah, that puzzle's pretty simple. And now comes this ghost here, who has finally been freed, and now Carly is taking her place. And unfortunately, in order to break Carly free here, we have to get rid of the evil presence that's on this ship. So, which is fine because Carly, for the most part, well, she'll die really easily in this fight. Oh boy, come on, come on. You can do it, Reese. You can do it, Reese. Yeah, come on. Lay off, zombies. Yeah, but the risk part is that we don't have any healing to work with beyond our items, so this part can get a little scary. But it's also a pretty short section, so we should be okay. Just gonna take a nice little roundabout out here, and then turn up a little corner here. And we're gonna go through another doorway. Here are the ghouls. This is an even stronger version of zombies. With a much better range. And I believe this is the last doorway right here. Pretty short section. So. And they've actually treated us nice. And the boss should be right up here. And this boss fight kind of sucks. He's very random. Alright, so the first thing we want to do here is we want to heal. And this will cause Kevin to enrage, which is good. Now time to go into full frenzy. Oh god, that's a lot of damage. Okay, going to throw that on Kevin. Okay, so that's kind of unfortunate. So that was a dispel he just did there. So now I have to actually imbue on Kevin with a attack power seed. Oh, come on, stop moving, dude. Ah. So that wasn't very good damage, and now comes the luck factor. 2 teleports is bad. We want him to cast this spell here. He took a while to do it, and this is kind of how the fight goes. So sadly, no other way to explain that fight. You're kind of just waiting on him to do his thing when he goes up high, and sometimes he takes forever, and it's unfortunate when that happens. And he can do stuff like this, where it's kind of hard to chase him down. But we're going to try our best. Come on, Gorva. Okay, middle's fine. Alright, so multi-target Evil Gate, we'll have to use a mana potion, a Poto oil here. Want to make sure we... I mean, we do have the Angel Grails to work with, but I'd rather not have to imbue another attack power seed on Kevin. So that's single target on Reese. Oh, okay, yeah, he's gonna... So... Hopefully, this is the last time he does this. Hopefully, we kill him once he comes down. So his next attack is going to be Black Rain. He was very quick to cast it this time, though. So that's good. This is a pretty powerful attack, I think. Not sure if it's more powerful than the last one he used, but... Alright, so he's going to come down here. Where's he going to go? Nice! That's good. Nice. Okay. So yeah, a bit of an annoying fight, but you kind of just have to play with the cards you're given on that fight. It's ideal if you actually... It's actually ideal if he's always teleporting directly to where you're standing at and not moving around so much. But usually it's expected to not get the 2-cycle on that fight. You can do it, though. I know top Japanese runners have been able to, so it's possible, but it's difficult. So yeah, this is the Dark Mana Spirit, which is Shade. And because we've dealt with the evil presence on the ghost ship, it's now disintegrating, and we are going to be swept ashore here. And I should have leveled up with Kevin, but it won't register because of that forced cutscene. So, next level up is going to be a little interesting. It's going to be a stat manip, but it's the easiest stat manip to get. It's free. And I'll explain why once we just initiate this one cutscene here. So again, this is Honk %. Here's the man who has the honk. That is Booskaboo. And we want to initiate that cutscene. I'm not entirely sure what happens if you don't, but I think he doesn't come to your rescue at the end of the cave. So, the cave that we're going to be going to. So, I'm at least told that it's important. So you might notice Carly actually is still at 1 HP, and this is perfect because this allows us to set up for the stat manip on Kevin. So he's actually going to max out his strength here. Huh. Interesting. I thought, come on. Jeez. Oh, wow. Okay, never mind. It's not free. I think I'm supposed to actually screen transition, maybe. Okay. Never mind. It's not free. I thought... I've gotten it literally 100% of the time, but I guess sometimes you're not going to be, I guess there's a first for everything. But yeah, literally I think all you have to do is have Carly take a hit, and then just have yourself exit the screen. And that should be all you need to do for the stat manip. That's at least how I better understand it. It's not a big deal, though, because we did manage to get Kevin to 9 strength, and that's more than enough for this section. Like, you don't really need any more than that. This section can be a little dangerous, though. So we need to talk to this NPC here, and this allows us to be able to talk, or to allow a message to pop up when speaking to a rock. I'm going to save the game here, just as safety insurance, because this next section here is a little scary. There are some very powerful enemies here, and they become prominently, they become quite prominent once we enter the caves. But there are a few powerful enemies even out here. And sadly, of some of those dangerous encounters, some of them are enforced fights, so we have to be pretty careful not to accidentally die and just wipe the entire party. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to mosey our way towards this area here. Uh-oh. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. I was getting caught on some things there. Not really sure what. Alright, so here's the area here. I'm gonna talk to this rock here, and we're going to ask for Gnome for assistance this time. It's gonna open the way, and now we enter the cave. And this is where it gets a little scary. The jellyfish here are not too bad, but these podos are... They are very dangerous, and on top of how much damage they can do, they can summon ads when they're pretty low on life, and they can multi-target heal just to add more weapons to their arsenal. So, yeah, podos are really bad. You do not want podos. And it's random if you get them. And there's a podo right there. You kind of eyeing down Reese there, but didn't actually attack me. Hopefully we don't get one as an enforced encounter. Oh, this is a bad spot to get one. So I'm going to have to resort to some menu trickery here to kind of force the enemy to actually miss me. The Pac-Man babies are also somewhat scary, but they could be a lot worse. Okay, this is kind of bad. Okay, oof. Yeah, sometimes when Kevin is activating his werewolf form, he's actually invincible during this. Oh god, yeah, see, this is why we need to get rid of the podos as soon as possible. Once they reach a certain amount of, once their health gets low enough, they become a problem. As you can see here. Thankfully, my meter here is charged up. Nice, got rid of them. Oh, okay. Simmer down, simmer down. Going to heal Reese here. I don't really care what happens to Carly at this point here. Alright. Another stat to stamina. This is good. Come on. Come on. Odo? You can leave me alone now. Yeah, so this is kind of the gist of this section. You have to be very careful. Not to get too risky, because you can lose like 60 health in like seconds. It's really bad if they gang up on you. Thankfully, we are coming up to a gold statue, which is pretty much almost the home free area. Oh, come on. Come on, get out of here. You're gonna attack somebody, attack Carly. Don't attack the lead. Don't attack the lead here. Alright, there we go. We got to the gold statue. Now, I'm going to save one last time. This is pretty much the last point where I'm going to save. And we should be good from here. We do have one more forced encounter, so I'm going to actually swap to Kevin here. Come on. Come on. Yeah, these enemies can be a little annoying. Alright. Got rid of him. Alright, it's another Pac-Man baby. This is fine. Alright. Got rid of them. So now time to swap back to Reese, and it's pretty much just get to the end of the cave here. There's no more forced encounters, so just gotta watch out for the podos. Ah, come on. Yeah, podos tend to be the most aggressive, so man, they really want the podos. They really love their podos in this this attempt here. I normally don't get this many. Alright, so here's another gold statue here. We don't really need it because we're pretty much at the end anyway. And this section here actually doesn't have an actual boss at the end, so it was just a matter of holding out until the end. And here's a nice little unfamiliar face you probably haven't seen before, unless you played the Hawkeye route. He is actually tied to the Reese storyline as well. since Hawkeye and Reese share the same storyline. Or story route. And here's our buddy here. Booskaboo is gonna save the day. Again, I'm not really sure if that scene will play out if I didn't actually activate that cutscene at the start of the cave. So, normally, when you're on Booskaboo, you can activate the Honk, but we don't have actual control of Booskaboo right now. He's actually sending us to the blinking dot on the map that you see in the top left corner. Yes, you can turn Kevin into a healer, but the best utilization of Kevin is to make him the primary damage dealer. But yeah, Kevin has some very sick class changes, especially ultimate class changes. I guess while we have time, we don't have much else to really discuss. We're just taking one final trip to King Richard, and he'll give us the flute, and then we'll be returning to this beach pretty shortly, in like a couple minutes. So yeah. So what was mentioned in chat actually about the class change, the different classes that you can actually choose. There's a dark path and a light path, and then subsequently there's one more class change where you can go dark light, light dark, dark dark, light light. You have a lot of options for class changes. But in the speedrun, we do not actually get to see any more than one single class change. Because, you know, I think you need a certain level requirement to get the final class change. I can't remember exactly what the level requirement was off the top of my head. I want to say it's level 30, but it might be higher than that. I'm not 100%. So, if you want to know what's now going on in the lore, we do have 4 of the 8 mana spirits, and we are returning to King Richard here, and he's going to finally give the information of the final 4. Of which we will not be going to see because the run is going to end. This is the point in the game where the run gets even more ridiculous on the difficulty curve. Again, like I stated, enemies, like, you've seen the raw damage that we encounter with enemies just from that cave alone. Enemies from this point onward get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And then you subsequently have to deal with really tough boss fights. I was not able to get enough learned in this game, unfortunately. I do hope that next time I do this run for SNES Superstars that I will have learned the entire run, and we're not going to have a main category. But I did want to at least do this run because last Super SNES Stars, there was going to be a full run, but it was canceled. Because, I guess staff lost contact with the runner. Like, they didn't have a way of contacting the runner, and so it had to be canned, and they had to find a way to fill in 5 hours worth of time, and, yeah. It's... The representation of this game with these, with SNES Superstars has been kind of an unfortunate slide. Nobody really stepped up for this game, so... I decided to at least, since I had been interested in learning this game for a while, I did want to at least learn the start of the run. And, you know, I feel like for the most part my stat manipulation actually went really well. This is probably the cleanest I've had for stat manip. I did a lot of practice, like, hours earlier, and I could not stat manipulate Reese for the life of me, so she wound up with like a agility stat of 7, and I had to put points into spirit because I think if I put points into strength for her, it actually causes the pumpkin bomb to do less damage. I'm not 100% sure on that either, but yeah, just to give an idea of all the weird stuff that can happen in this game. it has happened to me when trying to learn this game. But thankfully, it went pretty cleanly this run, and this run will end in a matter of like probably a minute from now. But first, we gotta do one more little mash here to get past the enemies without actually unsheathing our weapons. And here we go. We're going to call upon Booskaboo, and if you're not prepared to hear the honk, yeah. It sounds a little weird for a honk. But yeah, SD3 honk, I was kind of inspired to do this category because of SD3 honk, which is a Frank Your Face emote. Yeah, so it's actually pretty good honk. Usually most people who watch runs of this game, they go absolutely nuts with this honk. So, I mean, if you did want to know where the next part of the run, though, was going to be taken, if we did decide to go further, it was going to be right here, the snowy continent, where the water mana stone was taken. Right, so that is pretty much it. Again, if you were hoping for a full run, sorry I couldn't learn the whole thing in time. I did only have a couple of days to try to slot it all. But the next run you're going to see is going to be a full run, and it's going to be Chrono Trigger, a game with a little more, you know, widespread praise from the wider community as a whole. So that was pretty much the last run for me. I'm honestly surprised I even lasted through all of that. It's actually 6:50 a.m. my time, and I stayed up all night to make sure this run could be done. So before I sign off and let the host take over and subsequently leave it up to the good luck to the next runner, I want to thank Fiesel and everyone who has worked hard in the staff to make this marathon happen. This is a very special marathon, and yeah, I love the Super Nintendo a lot. This is honestly my favorite era for video games, both it and the Genesis. So, yeah, shoutouts to the Super Nintendo, shoutouts to Super SNES stars, and good luck to the next runner.